Rich Brockman and I, we always have this thing we talk about. At the end of the game, when it's all said and done, would you rather be blown out or would you rather lose a tight game? Now, I was driving home from watching the Super Bowl. I was listening to you, and I thought I heard you say that at that point you may have rather have taken the blowout, and that's kind of Chris and I kind of agree with that sometimes because it feels like when a tight game, you can just second guess everything you've done for the rest of your life. But if you kind of get stomped out earlier, then you know it just wasn't your day. So I'm just wondering, what's a player's perspective on that?
Yeah, that was probably more tongue in cheek, but I think bottom line is that I think there's something to if you go into a Super Bowl and the other team's just flat out the better team. Okay, you kind of reserve yourself and go, you know what? Hey, we got here and it was great and we made a run, but the other team was just flat out better than us. And then sometimes when you play a really good game and it goes back and forth and then you lose, you think about it. You're like, oh my gosh, if that one play would have been different or if this would have been different or we were so close to making history and we lost it on one play here or there. I think that definitely can be more painful because that's what we do as players is when you play close games, you scrutinize everything you do and you beat yourself up over, gosh, why didn't I make that one throw? Or why did I make that decision right there? And those things hang with you. When you get blown out, usually it's kind of just like, yeah, you wipe your hands a bit and like, oh, well, whether it wasn't our day or they were just a better team. We can't really scrutinize anything because, there's a million different things that went wrong and sometimes easier to put it aside and move forward. But I think at the end of the day, if I'm playing in the Super Bowl, I want to be in a position to give my team a chance. I want to be in a close game. I want to have an opportunity, and I want to leave going, hey, we could have been Super Bowl champs, kind of like the Arizona game against the Steelers. You score with 2.5 minutes to go, and at the end of the game, it was about great players making plays, but you at least walked off that field going, you know what? We were good enough to be Super Bowl champions. We represented ourselves well in this moment, even though we're not walking away with the trophy. Okay,
would you have wanted the ball in your hands then to start overtime?
Absolutely not. For me, in overtime, I understand, when you say, we want the third possession of the game. But when I go into overtime, there will be no third possession. My mentality is not playing for the next possession. If we punt on this possession, well, maybe we can win it on the next. My mentality is give me the football, tell me what we need to do, and we're going to go do it. We're going to go finish this thing right now. I'm not playing for a second possession in overtime. All those things can make sense. I can understand completely why Kyle would do that and what that would mean. But to me, that's the first part, is the winning mentality. And what I thought was interesting was at the end of the game, we could look at a couple times. San Francisco's down in the red zone tight in the second half, and they go for it on fourth down. Okay, I thought probably should kick right there, take the points. They go for it, then they score a touchdown. Then at the end of the game, they're playing with the win mentality, 3rd and 5. We're throwing the football. We're trying to finish this thing right now. And then you have overtime, and you're going, oh, well, we're going to play for the third possession. And again, not that they were just playing for the third possession, but they're thinking about it completely differently than the way I thought they thought about it during the game was we're going for it. We are going for it to finish this game and to make plays. But then I thought the mentality changed. And that's the biggest thing to me is mentality-wise, I want to say we're finishing it on the first possession. We're not thinking about anything beyond this is overtime. What do we have to do to not give the other team the football back? And, and the other thing I think of it from strategic standpoint is, we saw San Francisco come out and they get the ball. And in this day and age, you're going to get the ball on the 25-yard line for sure. You're going to have a touchback. So you're going to have to go the long distance. And what I think in those moments is that sometimes when you take the ball first or you give the other team the ball first, they're thinking about it like, okay, we can't make a mistake right here. We've got to play. And you might play a little bit more conservatively from your own 25-yard line. So if you can get a 3-and-out, which almost happened to San Francisco, now you're stealing not only the possession, but you're stealing the field position, which oftentimes can be so huge because when the kickers are as good as they are in this league, if you get stopped on a 3-and-out and you have to punt, then you're 20 yards away from getting an opportunity to win the football game. So even from a strategic field position, kind of the way it plays out, I would want the other team to have the ball first, so they have to play a little bit more tentative. And then more importantly, when the ball gets back in my hands, I know exactly what we have to do to win. And I'm thinking about, we got to get a field goal, or at least getting a field goal, but I'm thinking about, we're getting a touchdown. And if we need a 2-point conversion, we're getting a touchdown or a 2-point conversion. And I am not handing the ball back to the other team on the third possession.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.